First, I will introduce myself. My name is Jo Latimore, and I'm a faculty member in the Department of Fisheries and Wildlife at MSU and the director of our MSU Extension Center for Lakes and Streams. And we have the pleasure of administering the MiCorps program, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But before I do that, I'll let my coworkers introduce themselves.
Thank you, Jo. Hi, everybody. My name is Erick Elgin. I'm an aquatic ecologist with Michigan State University Extension. I work statewide on lakes, but I'm housed over here in West Michigan. I am also, amongst a few things I do, I'm also the Cooperative Lakes Monitoring Program Manager. So I work with Jo and Chelsea to administer that.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Cooper. I joined the MiCorps team within the last year or so from the Conservation District world, and I've been working on our communications and social media type outreach. So follow MiCorps on social media if you haven't already. And I've also been helping out on some special aquatic invasive species projects like this one over the last year, and super excited to see what kind of data is generated through the Blitz.
All right, thanks, Eric and Chelsea. Glad to have you on today. And just as a note for everyone, we are recording this webinar. So the recording of the webinar will be available on our MiCorps webpage, and where we have all the resources that we have for anyone who wants to get involved with this detection blitz. If any of you have not been involved with MiCorps before, welcome. MiCorps is Michigan's statewide volunteer monitoring program for lakes and streams. And it's a fairly formal program. Folks can join either to monitor their lake or their stream. And we work on stream monitoring with watershed groups and conservation districts and other groups all over the state who organize volunteer monitoring activities during the spring and fall primarily, and they're always looking for volunteers. We also have our lakes monitoring program where we work directly with you as a volunteer to monitor the health of your lake. And one of the things you can do in that lake monitoring program is join our Exotic Aquatic Plant Watch. And that is a program where you learn to survey your lake for invasive aquatic plants. Now, what we have found is that people are also interested in monitoring and reporting other invasive species that they find around their water bodies. That could be things like mussels or crayfish, or more land-based plants like Phragmites or purple loosestrife. And so we've developed a opportunity, this BioBlitz, to give folks the opportunity to quickly report invasive species around our local waterways. So what is a BioBlitz? Some of you may have participated in these before, but if this is your first time, a BioBlitz is a community effort to document as many species as possible in a specific area within a set time frame. So in the case of ours, we're just looking for aquatic invasive species anywhere in the state of Michigan within the dates of this event, June 28th to July 5th. Now, it has a few different characteristics that make it really unique and valuable. First of all, it's a community science program. We work with volunteers to identify and record species. It's very community-based grassroots effort. It's short and intensive. Our event is only like a week long. Some BioBlitzes are only one day or one afternoon. We're giving folks a whole week to report any invasive species that they find. And this provides a biodiversity snapshot. We're going to blitz it out. We're going to collect as many observations of invasive species around the state as we can. It's open to everyone. You don't have to pay any fees. You don't have to attend any formal trainings. Anyone who's interested in doing this can help out. I know I'll be submitting observations. My teammates will too. And also anyone who's maybe never done something like this before is welcome to do that too. And we aim to make it as easy as possible. We're using the app iNaturalist to do this work. It's probably the most popular online application for conducting BioBlitzes, and we're going to show you in a minute how to do that if you've never used iNaturalist before. Why do we want to do this? Is because it supports conservation. The data is really going to help scientists here at MSU and also with our state agencies and other groups to really understand the extent of invasive species and protect local ecosystems. And what we know is that, especially for invasive species that maybe have been in Michigan for a while, they don't get reported as often. People kind of grow used to them being there. And it may turn out there's no actual record of those invasive species out there. And so it's important to get reports, even of something that's been there a long time. Maybe you've got a purple loosestrife patch in a wetland near your property that comes up every year. Everybody knows it's there. It may not be on any map or data set of invasive species. So that's really important. And then, of course, the other side, discovering new invasions that maybe you've never noticed before. This will give you an excuse to get outside and look around. So our focus for this, as I mentioned, is about aquatic invasive species. And we define invasive as non-native species that disrupt the local ecosystem. They may cause harm to the economy or to human health or so forth. And some examples you've surely heard of include zebra mussels, Eurasian watermilfoil, maybe the new plant invader that was discovered a couple years ago in southern Michigan, hydrilla. There's a lot of them out there, and there's lots of great information out there on the state of Michigan's invasive species website. And we want to detect things early through this blitz, but also document existing invasions. So we really have a good sense of where these invasive species are found. As I mentioned before, this is a special new community event. It's not part of our typical MiCorps monitoring. But if you're interested in doing more monitoring, maybe after you do the BioBlitz, you realize, hey, I'd love to do more. We encourage you to check out our options on micorps.net. It's flexible, accessible, you don't have to do training, and iNaturalist will help you out a lot. A nice thing about iNaturalist is that you don't even have to know what you're taking a photo of. Let's say you find something and you think, I wonder, maybe this is a zebra mussel, but I'm not sure. We want you to report it, because the beauty of iNaturalist is that we will be able to go in and look at everybody's reports, look at the photos that you take, and we can confirm any identifications or correct any identifications if you put in a guess. And it's not just us. iNaturalist is open to everyone globally. So what we find is that not only can we go in and check the accuracy of the reports that we get, any other user can too. That's called crowdsourcing, right? We're using the public community of users on iNaturalist to help us make sure we have the best identification possible. All right, now that I have you convinced that this is something you want to do, here are the nuts and bolts of how to get started. You want to have the iNaturalist app. That's the easiest way to participate, is by using your phone. If you prefer not to, you can also do this on your desktop computer, on a laptop, and so forth. But it is very quick and convenient, if you're comfortable, to use your phone in the field where you can snap photos right there in the app and report what you see in the moment. You'll want to join the MiCorps AIS Detection Blitz project. So after you've set up a user account with iNaturalist, which is very easy if you haven't done it already, you can look at projects and you can search for our project, the MiCorps AIS Detection Blitz, and select to join it. Then you'll always have the option to add your observations to our project. That's an important point. If you go out and take observations, you take photos and report them into iNaturalist. If you don't select to add them to our project, then we won't see them. They'll still be useful. They'll be out there in the iNaturalist, giant world database, but we won't see them. So you want to be sure to join that project. And when you take observations, add them to it. Then, during the Blitz period, visit any water body in Michigan that interests you. This can be the Great Lakes shoreline, inland lakes, rivers, streams, wetlands, any place wet. So you can go to familiar locations near where you live or vacation or explore someplace new. We know a lot of people are going to be out near the water during that week. It's the 4th of July week. A lot of people will be at their cottages or out boating or swimming or fishing. And a good place to look for invasive plants and animals is in the shallows, along your shorelines, docks, boat launches, and so forth. A lot of invasive species get their foothold there, so those are great, easy places to look. You'll want to snap clear photos of any suspected invasive species and then upload them into the iNaturalist system. What happens next? All of the observations will help us form a statewide invasive species map that will surely reveal some new or improved information about invasive species in Michigan that no one currently has. We're really excited about that. It will help us researchers and managers to really understand the extent of invasive species across Michigan. It will help us guide management decisions and so forth, and will help you understand your ecosystem better as well, because it is such a community-driven project. So we're really excited to be able to offer this opportunity for the first time. All right, how to take a really good picture is what we want to show you next. So I'm going to broadcast a quick video. This video is also available on the Detection Blitz webpage on the MiCorps.net, which will make sure you have the link to that. So if it comes through a little choppy, fear not, you'll be able to watch it at your convenience off our YouTube channel. So here we go.
Hello from MiCorps, the Michigan Clean Water Corps, a statewide program supporting volunteer water quality monitoring in our lakes and streams.
I'm so sorry. I clicked and it went away. There we go.
Hello from MiCorps, the Michigan Clean Water Corps, a statewide program supporting volunteer water quality monitoring in our lakes and streams. This summer, from June 28th to July 6th, we're launching our brand new Aquatic Invasive Species Detection Blitz, a statewide BioBlitz where volunteers use the free iNaturalist app to document possible aquatic invasive species. By sharing your observations, you'll help us track where these species appear and give experts a clearer view of their spread across Michigan. Whether you're near a lake, river, or wetland, anywhere in Michigan, every submission counts. In this short video, we'll show you how to capture clear, detailed shots so the iNaturalist community can easily confirm exactly what you found. Taking pictures from far away or from above the water surface makes identifying organisms tricky. Instead, if it's safe and practical, gently remove the organism from the water and tap your screen to focus clearly on the subject. Show leaves, stems, or any distinct markings your subject may have. Close-up shots of special traits give people on iNaturalist and our team of experts a better chance of identifying what you've found. If your find is small, place it on your open hand or another familiar object for scale. Just keep the shot focused and clear, so others can easily determine size and detail. This quick step makes your observation even easier to identify. If you're unsure if it's invasive, especially for aquatic animals, always carefully place the organism back exactly where and how you found it. Proper handling protects our native wildlife. When uploading your observation, always make sure your exact location is marked. The app usually does this automatically, but double check to confirm or adjust it. Accurate locations are essential for tracking where invasive species are turning up.
Finally, don't forget to add your observation directly to the MiCorps AIS Detection Blitz project. Just open your observation, tap Add to Project, and select MiCorps AIS Detection Blitz. Clear, focused photos, accurate location, and adding your finds to the project are key steps for making your observations count. Thanks for joining MiCorps for the 2025 AIS Detection Blitz and helping to monitor Michigan's waters. For more info, visit micorps.net and join our project on iNaturalist.
All right, thank you so much, Chelsea, for putting that video together. It's a really helpful resource for y'all as you get started in the Blitz. We did want to mention, as I said before, the difference between desktop and mobile. As I said, it's probably easiest to do this on your phone because your camera is right built in and it detects the location where you are when you take your photos. And you can see kind of what the project looks like on your phone. It's fairly basic where you go to actually join it. If you go to the desktop, you'll see at the top of the screen an image like this. It shows you how many people have joined already. You can click join. So in either case, be sure to join the project, and you can do that today. You don't have to wait until June 28th. You can join today. Already, when you took this photo, 32 people had already joined the project, so you can do that right now. So you're ready to go during the event weeks, or you can click join here on your phone. Now, people have asked us already about, what if I take a photo with something other than my phone? What if I use my GoPro camera, for example, and I put it underwater and take a photo? That's great. You absolutely can do that. You can get those pictures on your laptop and then upload them into iNaturalist that way. If you do upload photos after the fact, that's when it's really important to look for that location information and make sure that iNaturalist has the right location. Typically, photos have that information embedded in the image, but not always, so be sure to check that. But yeah, using the mobile app does make things easier and quicker if you're interested in being efficient with it. So check those locations. So like we suggest there at the bottom, join the project now so you're ready to go. You'll also see when you join the project that there are some tips and tricks. We've been posting posts right on the iNaturalist website with some information about the project too. We have resources and support for you. So on our landing page at micorps.net, we have frequently asked questions. We also have outreach materials. So if you want to spread the word about this event, we've got social media images you can use, language you can use. We've got flyers you can print out and share with people, even with places for you to put your organization's logo on that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next slide. You can find all of that at micorps.net. And if you have questions about this, we're here to help you. We're active on social media. We'll see your posts there if you message us there, or you can always just shoot us an email at the address shown on your screen there, micorps@msu.edu, and we will see your questions. As I mentioned, there is an opportunity for organizations to help promote this. We would love that because, there's just the three of us here at MSU trying to get the word out about this program. So if you're with a lake association, a watershed group, a naturalist group, anybody, any kind of group of people that might like to go outside and participate in that, we're encouraging groups to host a local event. We do have some partners that are already planning to do that and host maybe an in-person event and get a bunch of people to come down to a local lake or stream and report things that they see. I know one conservation district is offering prizes to the person in their county that puts in the most observations, for example. So if you're part of an organization like that, we have a lot of resources, again, on the Blitz landing page that have that you can use and customize and share out with your members or with your colleagues, students, and so forth. So we hope that you'll take this opportunity to do something fun during that week and also promote community science here in Michigan. All right, we are happy to take any questions that you have at this time. Eric and Chelsea and I are available for that, and hope that maybe people have some questions for us about this. Just remember, the program runs from June 28th to July 6th, and we're really excited to have you join us. Thanks.
Great, folks. Yep. Please use the Q&A. I see a hand is waved. If raised hand, if you could put your question in the Q&A, we'll answer that as soon as we can. So, Jo, we have one question. Can we use old photos?
That's a good question, and we've had that come up before. The idea of the Blitz is to take your observations during the time period. However, I will say, if it's a picture of something that you know is still there, like maybe you have an older photo of, Phragmites, the invasive reed, growing near your lake, and it's a good photo and you're happy with it and you know that it's still there, then yes, you certainly can.
Kind of on that note, that kind of same thing is, can we snap pics before and after those Blitz dates?
So yeah, again, the Blitz on iNaturalist, that project will only be open during those dates. So that's the only time you'll be able to submit images. So again, if you have a photo you already took or you take it before June 28th, then you can hold on to it and upload it at June 28th to July 6th. But after July 6th, we won't accept any more observations because this is a snapshot designed project. I will say, though, we always have our MiCorps monitoring programs available. And so if you're someone who is on a lake and is particularly interested in plants, you can join our formal exotic aquatic plant watch. And that gives you all summer to document your plants. And you can email us for more details about that.
This next question is more of just some information on known problems. So do we have a gallery of known offenders, thinking of invasive species, that we can recognize them when we see them?
The best resource that I refer folks to is the state of Michigan's invasive species website. And that's pretty simple to get to. Just type in michigan.gov/invasives. And there is a section on there, I think it's called Identify and Report, and you can look at a selection of images of invasive species that are known in Michigan. They've done a really nice job at the state of compiling those images. But again, as I mentioned before, a good thing is, even if you're not sure, if you think it sort of looks like that invasive crayfish or something that you saw on that site, go ahead and report it. Take good pictures, report it, and then the iNaturalist users and our team will review all those pictures and verify or correct any identifications.
This is a question just about taking pictures through the app or through the desktop. Can we mingle both app captures and desktop uploads of underwater images and so on?
You sure can. Yes. If you take photos in a lot of different ways, you can report all of them, even if it's a single, you can make multiple reports of the same occurrence, or you can add photos from different things. After you've reported, I've done this before because I use iNaturalist just for fun. I see a cool turtle, I'll report it. I see a cool flower, I'll report it. You can go in and edit later. So if you've already put in an observation, say you were out with your phone and you saw a zebra mussel, you took a photo of that and it's in your account now. You could go back and edit that on your computer and add more photos off your computer. Say you used a fancier camera or an underwater camera. You can add more photos later on.
And thanks, everybody. You can keep these questions coming with this rapid fire. This is great. So continuing on, should we submit pictures of native species that are a problem?
No, it's a quick answer. If you know it's not an invasive species, maybe it's a native species, like we get complaints about white water lily. So I'll use that as an example. A white water lily that's just growing like crazy, but that's native to Michigan. That's not the focus of this project. If some slip in, if some people do report a few native species, that's fine, right? We'll identify it correctly and we won't include it in the final report about what invasive species were reported in this. But we encourage you to really just look for those invasive species for this project. You can always take photos and make reports of any organism you want into iNaturalist, but it doesn't belong in this AIS detection blitz.
So now here's a question now. So like people find an invasive species, should they put it back where they found it, or should they remove it?
Yeah, great question. I'm glad somebody asked that. So, if you find something that is definitely an invasive species, especially plants and so forth, you can remove it. The state of Michigan has a really good guide on how to dispose of invasive species, and we may be able to find the link for that and share that. Whether it's safe to compost them or how should I deal with them. It's a really helpful guide because it's not the same advice for everything you might see. So yeah, we do discourage replacing invasive species back into the environment, but also be very careful that you know for sure it's an invasive species. I can share an example of you may have heard of the invasive fish, the round goby. It's invasive and problematic in Michigan waters. And, often if people are fishing and they happen to catch one, they will, not return it back into the water. Unfortunately, we have several native fish that look very much like round gobies. And more than once, I've observed anglers inadvertently killing those native fish because they thought they had the invasive. And so that's something you'll want to be very careful. If you're in doubt, put it back. No damage done.
Okay, Chelsea, I think this one would be for you. How do I find the MiCorps AIS project on the iNaturalist app? They just downloaded the app, but they can't find our project.
So it should be easily searchable if you just type in, even if you just type in MiCorps, there should only be one project with that tag. And so if you continue to have problems after you try that, you can contact us and we can work with you separately to figure that out.
Thank you. So there's other apps out there, not just iNaturalist. And so here's a question about that. Can the report be made in the Missing app instead of iNaturalist?
You're welcome to use the MISSIN app. MISSIN is the Midwest Invasive Species Information Network, and it is an established multi-state database where the public can submit invasive species observations. You're welcome to do that. It will not be part of this. We've decided to focus just on one application, and iNaturalist was the application of choice for this project. So you can report, and those will be noted, and the state of Michigan keeps an eye on reports and missing. So we certainly don't discourage use of that. But for this week-long event, if you want to take part, use the iNaturalist app.
Thank you. Chelsea, another one I think that you can help answer is, will results track back to the location where they were found or to the person who submitted the pic?
So each observation is linked to an individual profile. So once you create that profile, if you're worried about having your real name on there, you don't have to put your real name. You can put anything that you want, and your observation will be tracked to your profile. So that will show the location that you found your observation in and your username, but no other real identifying information besides that.
And I might add on to that too, if, trying to interpret the question a little bit, if the concern was that, I took the photo at the lake, but then I went, I drove home and then, finished uploading it, it will take the location information from the photo. It will not suggest that the zebra mussel was in your house. So that's another detail of that. That's the beauty of, phone observations, is that the pictures that our phones take, unless you have the setting turned off somehow, it will automatically detect where you took that photo. But always make sure to adjust that location if it doesn't look right to you. It'll show it right on the screen when you're making your observation.
Excellent. I think I'm interpreting this question correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the Q&A. You might find a zebra mussel shell, so it's dead. Should we still be tracking those or putting those on iNaturalist?
You can, yes. And in fact, there's a place in the app as you're adding information. You may say, it'll ask you, what did you find? And you can type in zebra mussel, and then it has the opportunity. You don't have to, but you can add additional details. And among those will be questions like, was it alive or dead? Things like that. So you can answer those questions when you make the observation. So those details are included.
What if somebody needs some tech help like maybe having a problem downloading iNaturalist or using it, who should they contact? How do they get some help?
So I just put my contact information in the chat. If people want to send me those types of questions, I would love to help.
And if you forget Chelsea's email, you can always use the mycorps@msu.edu email.
Just a clarifying question is for taking the images, clarifying, do they need to be taken during that week? Talk a little bit about that again.
Sure, yeah. So the idea is to take the photos and make your observations between June 28th and July 6th. The exception to that we talked about a moment ago is that if you happen to have taken a photo recently of an invasive species that you know is still in that location, so particularly for plants, this probably doesn't apply for animals because animals move around, but if you find plants and you've taken photos of them, recently, but maybe it was before June 28th, you can still submit those photos. That's okay. But the idea is to do all of this work between June 28th and July 6th. That's why it's called a Blitz. And the project will not accept any observations after July 6th.
Thank you. Any other questions? Here's your chance for us to answer them live. Again, if you still have some questions or questions come up, mycorps@msu.edu or any of us individually, feel free to do that. We're really looking forward to this project and the data that comes from it. We really hope that it'll be useful for all of you and fun for all of you as well. Question here is, question did come in. So will this session be recorded for others of you? Yes. So we are recording it right now. We'll do some post-processing and we'll get it up and sent to all of you who are part of this, and it'll be up on our website. Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, any closing remarks, Jo or Chelsea?
I hope it came across that we're really excited about this. This is a brand new effort. It's supported by the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, who is the owner of the MiCorps program. We work with them to put that on, but we're really happy to be able to try this new program. It's been used very successfully by other states and other local organizations to, mobilize everybody to get out and, better understand the invasive species across Michigan. So we're excited to see so many people attending this webinar and already joining the project. So as we said, you can already go in and join the project so you're ready to go come the end of this month.
Yep, super excited to see the final result.
And we will be reporting that too. That's something that we didn't really talk about here, but it'll take us a while. Hopefully there'll be so many observations. It'll take us a while to get through all of the observations and come up with some maps and a report about what was found. But that's part of the exciting part of community science is, not only will you know that you participated in something and you are part of something bigger, you'll get to learn about what all we found as a result. So we will keep everyone informed about the outcomes of this project.
Excellent. Okay. Any final question? One did come in, and yes, this is our first BioBlitz within the MiCorps program, but there are BioBlitzes all over the place by other groups, national, local, statewide. Okay. Well, thank you all. Oh, it's coming. I'm glad we're slowly. That's okay. We're happy to answer the questions now. It sounds like the project is funded by the state. Has this project or MiCorps in general been affected by anything with cuts happening?
Oh yeah, good question. No, we're in good shape. This is fully supported by state dollars, including a program called Renew Michigan, including the sale of water quality license plates, and also from some modest enrollment fees for the lake monitoring program. So we are in good shape. Thanks for asking.
And people like the idea of the BioBlitz, so they're happy this is happening. Okay. Thank you all very much. And we look forward to working with you and seeing all the data coming in.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.